Let's talk about your next vacation. You've probably spent hours scrolling through travel blogs, flipping through glossy brochures, and daydreaming about your next escape from the daily grind. Maybe you're craving something that will make your heart race, something that will leave your friends speechless when you tell them where you've been. Tired of the usual? Eiffel Tower, Colosseum, been there, done that. The world's most famous landmarks are incredible. But let's be honest, they're also packed, predictable, and sometimes a little too safe. You want more than just another stamp in your passport, you want something with real edge. Well, how about Syria? Yes, you heard that right. Not the first place that pops up on a travel agent's list, but maybe that's exactly why it should be on yours. Yes, Syria. The one your government's been warning you about for years. The place that's been a headline, a cautionary tale, a red zone on every travel advisory map. But what if you looked past the warnings and saw the adventure waiting underneath? This is the ultimate off-the-beaten-path adventure. Imagine traversing landscapes few outsiders have seen in decades, standing where history was made, and feeling the pulse of a country that survived the unimaginable. Forget the safe, sanitized trips. No more lounging by the pool with a watered-down cocktail or shuffling through museums behind a flag-waving guide. This is travel for those who crave authenticity, who want to see the world as it really is. Raw, real, and unforgettable. This is for the true pioneers. The ones who don't just follow the crowd but blaze their own trail. The ones who want to come home with stories no one else can match. Imagine telling your friends you spent your summer somewhere the State Department labels "Do Not Travel." Watch their jaws drop as you flip open your passport and show them the stamp. You'll have the kind of stories that make people lean in closer, eager to hear every detail. Come for the ancient history, stay for the adrenaline rush of geopolitical uncertainty. Syria is a land where civilizations have risen and fallen, where every stone has a story, and where the present is as compelling as the past. Syria offers breathtaking sights and the thrill of a country fresh off a civil war. There's a sense of resilience in the air, a feeling that you're witnessing a nation rebuilding itself, one day at a time. Explore one of the world's oldest cities in the morning. Ponder modern fragility in the afternoon. Wander through the bustling souks of Damascus, where the scent of spices fills the air. Then turn a corner and see the scars of recent conflict. A powerful reminder of how quickly history can change. This isn't your all-inclusive resort. This is a trip where the memories and maybe the shrapnel last a lifetime. Every moment is intense, every sight unforgettable, every experience a story waiting to be told. Think of the stories. While others show off beach pics, you'll have selfies in front of Crusader castles that have seen more action in a decade than most see in a millennium. You'll walk the same halls as knights, emperors, and revolutionaries. You'll be the most interesting person at every dinner party. Your tales won't just be about sights and sounds, but about courage, curiosity, and the human spirit. Oh, you went to Italy? That's nice. I just got back from Damascus. Watch as the room goes silent, and everyone wants to know more. The hummus is amazing, by the way. And the food? It's a revelation. Rich, flavorful, and shared with locals who are eager to show you the best of their culture. This is your chance to redefine world travel, to go beyond the guidebooks, to see a place most people only read about, and to come back changed. It's bold, risky, probably a terrible idea. But sometimes the best stories come from the worst ideas, the ones that make your heart pound and your mind race. And that's exactly why it's so appealing. The thrill of the unknown, the rush of stepping into history, the satisfaction of doing what few would dare. So are you brave enough? The world is full of safe choices, but maybe, just maybe, your next great adventure is waiting where you least expect it. What made this trip possible? Regime change. In late 2024, Assad left, rebels took over, and suddenly Syria was open again. The new interim government is a coalition with HTS at the forefront, still on a few international naughty lists. It's like a new restaurant run by a chef with a checkered past. Exciting, but you're not sure about the management. Tour operators saw opportunity and jumped in, betting on just enough stability for busloads of curious foreigners. The ink on this new chapter is barely dry, but that's part of the adventure. You're not just a tourist, you're witnessing history in the making. Welcome to Syria's grand reopening. Handle with care. For Americans, here's the twist. In 2025, the Trump administration lifted the travel ban on Syria. Suddenly it's open, but the State Department still screams, "Do not travel." It's like getting the car keys and a warning that the brakes don't work. So, do you trust the political gesture or the practical warning? The UK is just as blunt go, and your travel insurance is void. This is the ultimate test of your risk tolerance. Planning a trip here means navigating a maze of mixed messages. You're not just booking a flight, you're wading into international bureaucracy. If you get in trouble, don't expect a rescue, maybe just a concerned email. Welcome to the world's most complicated vacation invitation. Despite dire warnings from governments and travel advisories that read like horror stories, commercial airlines are once again touching down in Damascus. The city's airport, once a symbol of isolation, is now buzzing with the energy of returning flights and hopeful travelers. Qatar Airways, Turkish Airlines, major carriers are putting Syria back on the global map, signaling a cautious but undeniable return to normalcy. For the first time in years, the world is watching as these planes bring in not just aid or officials, but curious adventurers and intrepid tourists. Tour companies like Untamed Borders are seizing the moment, offering guided trips that promise both safety and the thrill of discovery. These aren't your average package tours. Each itinerary is carefully crafted to balance adventure with caution, and every group is led by experts who know the terrain and the risks. The legendary sites are still here. Crac des Chevaliers stands proud, the ancient streets of Damascus hum with life, and even the battered ruins of Palmyra are slowly being pieced back together. For history lovers, it's a rare chance to witness the rebirth of civilizations that once shaped the world. You'll watch history being preserved and reconstructed right before your eyes as archaeologists and craftspeople work to restore Syria's cultural treasures. It's a living classroom, where the past and present collide in real time. But let's be honest, part of the appeal is the edge, the sense that you're venturing where few dare to go. There's a thrill in the uncertainty, a rush that comes from stepping into a place that's still making headlines for all the wrong reasons. You're traveling through a country governed by a coalition that includes groups still listed on international terror watch lists. Security checkpoints, armed guards, and the ever-present sense of unpredictability are all part of the experience. It's terror list chic, the ultimate in edgy travel, the kind of destination that makes even North Korea seem like a safe bet. Here, your Instagram feed isn't just about beautiful backdrops, but about the story you'll tell when you get home. You're not just a tourist, you're a participant in a living, breathing political experiment. Every interaction, every photo, every conversation with a local is a brush with history in the making. The risks are real, but so are the bragging rights. For those who crave stories that go beyond the ordinary, Syria is the new badge of honor in the world of adventure travel. Welcome to the new frontier of adventure tourism, where every step is a leap into the unknown, and every moment is a story waiting to be told. For some, the ruins are just the appetizer. The main course is dark tourism. Why settle for beaches when you can photograph the shattered streets of Homs or Aleppo? Tour operators now offer visits to war-scarred neighborhoods where the scars of conflict are still fresh. The ultimate stop? Saydnaya Prison, once a torture center, now possibly a memorial. It's not for the faint of heart, but it's a raw look at Syria's recent trauma. One day you marvel at Roman ruins, the next you confront modern atrocities. It's a jarring mix of beauty and horror. This isn't just sightseeing, it's a confrontation with history, past and present. Arrive in Damascus and you'll immediately sense a current of optimism in the air. Locals speak with hope about freedom, rebuilding, and the possibility of a brighter future. Cafes buzz with conversation, and the city's markets are alive with laughter and resilience. There's a palpable sense that despite everything, people are determined to reclaim their lives and their city. But as you look closer, reality hits hard. The statistics are staggering. 90% of Syrians now live in poverty, and food shortages are a daily struggle for most families. Humanitarian aid lines stretch for blocks, and the uncertainty of the next meal is a constant shadow over daily life. While you might find yourself marveling at ancient ruins and UNESCO World Heritage sites, it's impossible to ignore that millions of Syrians are preoccupied with survival, not sightseeing. The contrast between the country's rich history and its present hardships is stark and ever-present. The scars of war are everywhere. 14 million people have been displaced, entire neighborhoods lie in ruins, and the infrastructure that once supported daily life is shattered. The economy is in tatters, and the path to recovery is long and uncertain. The new government faces a monumental challenge: to rebuild a nation teetering on the edge, to restore trust, and to provide hope for a population that has endured so much loss. Tour operators may present a carefully curated, sanitized version of Syria, highlighting restored sites and bustling markets, but beneath the surface, suffering and hardship are woven into the fabric of daily life. As a tourist, you find yourself in a morally ambiguous space, witnessing both resilience and pain. You're welcomed with warmth, yet you're always aware of the privilege that separates your experience from that of the locals. Your spending brings some relief to local businesses and families, but the gulf between your temporary visit and their daily reality remains vast. Every transaction is a reminder of the complex dynamics at play. You become an observer in a country still grappling with trauma, yet also holding on to hope. The resilience of the people is inspiring, but the wounds of conflict are never far from view. The adventure here isn't just about exploring new places, it's an emotional and ethical journey, challenging your perceptions and stirring deep reflection about privilege, responsibility, and humanity. This is travel in a post-conflict society, where every step is a lesson in resilience, empathy, and the enduring human spirit. Let's talk practicalities. Will your insurance cover this trip? Probably not. Ignore government warnings and your policy is worthless. Twist your ankle? Maybe you're fine. Caught in unrest? You're on your own. No safety net, no embassy bailouts, just you and your wits. Consular support? Expect a generic email, not a rescue. For hardcore adventurers, this is the appeal pure high-stakes travel. You have to be resourceful, plan for every contingency, and bring a very good first aid kit. It's a return to old-school travel. No backup plan, just nerve. The risk is real, but so is the thrill. Pack your self-reliance, and maybe some luck. Before the war, Syria was a travel gem. 10 million visitors in 2010. It was a hub for culture, history, and legendary hospitality. Tourists wandered Damascus's ancient souks, marveled at Palmyra, relaxed on Mediterranean beaches. Tourism was 14% of the economy, a golden age. Today's revival is about reclaiming that lost glory and national pride. Locals remember when Syria was peaceful and prosperous. Now, visitors see a country caught between nostalgia and harsh reality. To visit Syria now is to witness a nation longing for its former self. So, is Syria the ultimate adventure for 2025? It's unique, transformative, and will challenge you. But is it right to turn a country's trauma into a tourist attraction? There's a fine line between witnessing and exploiting. The peace is fragile, the government untested, the crisis overwhelming. Western tourists could help, or add tension. Is Syria ready for us, or is this all too soon? The real adventure is grappling with these questions. Syria isn't a simple vacation, it's a test of ethics, empathy, and nerve. If you're ready for that, maybe Syria's calling your name. Just read the fine print.